For those of you who don't know, my name's Jim DePue, and Ron is my son, my dad. It's been a tough week for everybody, and I've had quite a few battles trying to figure out what to say today. So I hope you don't mind, but I wrote it down, trying to find the words to put 50 years of memories into a paragraph. It was a struggle. I want to start out with a poem that I wrote yesterday. It's called Ode to My Father. My mind wanders on a foggy cliff. Everything looks the same, and I feel I may slip. Long forgotten moments creep in and flash before my eyes, vanishing as I try to hold on to them, so I just cry. The cycle repeats in relentless waves. Torturous and beautiful are those bygone days. Grief has me starving in a dark, poisonous hole, with only tears to nourish my saddened soul. The sun is beautiful, and you are but one of its rays. I know I'll be with you again one of these days. My love for you is as strong as before. It feels strange now when you step through heaven's door. I love you, Dad, and desperately miss the times that we've had. I also wrote a little something so that you could understand what I meant to grow up with my dad. Ronald Alvin DePue, Dad to me. I think I became closer to him when I joined the Navy and moved away. You see, he was against my joining. However, I forged his signature and signed up anyway. I'll never forget the look on his face when I asked him for a lift to the recruiting station so I could catch a bus to boot camp. Shock on his face, there was sadness in his eyes, and I like to think a little pride in the grin on his lips. He knew what I did not, that I'd never be his little boy again. I say pride because I'd seen that grin before. I saw it when he taught me to skip a rock. And he taught me to tie a hook to a fishing line, remove a transmission from an old Ford truck. I saw that grin every time I mastered a task. I remember how proud he was when his family grew by one daughter, and then again by 2 grandchildren. And I remember how excited he was to be a great-grandfather. I always admired his wit and intelligence, and he had so much knowledge he was always willing to share with anyone who could benefit from it. I also loved his kindness. He would take in strangers and help them get back on their feet with dignity intact. I remember the first one I can remember was a skinny hippie, and he let the dad live with us. It was a guy he gave a job to and helped until he got back on his feet. I can't remember his name. I just remember that he liked to spread bone marrow on his toast. It grossed all of us kids out, but my dad just laughed. What I'll miss about him are our conversations, his fearlessness and his love of life. I'll miss telling him about my life and what's going on in my world. And only this past week, I realized I'll miss most that slight pride in his grin. That was my dad.